Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be going over one thing you could do to add accuracy to your throw, and you're going to start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
All right, so this is something that I get all the time, right? How can we improve our accuracy? It's also something that seems to be searched a lot by quarterbacks. So I want to go over one thing that I think can be very, very beneficial for quarterbacks, especially the quarterbacks that are struggling with power, right? So that's obviously a big thing that we focus on within our throw program, is being able to help you and being able to improve throwing velocity, throwing power, things like that. And so with that, you end up wanting to create more torque. You end up wanting to be able to utilize your spine more, right? There's more parts of your body that you want to recruit in order to generate more, obviously, torque. And so what happens here is guys will end up kind of leaning to the side with their head, right, and allowing that head to get off base, and that's going to really cause the accuracy issues, right? So if I'm here and I'm coming straight back, straight forward, right, you can see how my head stays more onto like a straight plane, right? But when I start going to the side here, now that creates more separation between my head and the football in my hand, which makes it so now it's harder to have a great understanding of where this ball ends up going, right? The more that my eyes and the release point are close, the more I'm going to be able to have control, the more where I'm looking and, where I'm trying to get the ball to go, it syncs up, right? It's the same thing with darts. When they're trying to throw darts, they're not going here, right? They're trying to aim here and get their eyes right behind their hand. Same type of thing here, right? We're trying to just come right up and forward and through. I'm going to show you guys some. Okay, so we can see here the difference between the two athletes, and I was going to do it with my own personal throw, but I didn't have a great angle with the video where it was at, or where I decided to throw the ball. And I figured Josh Allen's going to be a better option anyway. And so we can see these are both similar parts of the throw. We can already see issues with the load here in terms of the ball position, in terms of the direction of the football that's going to impact the wrist. But what's important here, and a good note to take would be, or a thing to think about in terms of your mechanics, is keeping your head inside of your foot, your front foot, for as long as you can, right? So you want to feel your weight be on the inside part of the foot and not transfer to the outside part of the foot, or even get to the middle part of the foot. Until after the throw, after you release the throw. So we can see here what's happening is as he's going through, he's leaning to the side with his spine and with his head. Okay, and not only does that make it so it's a lot more difficult to be accurate, but it also takes away the amount of power that you're able to generate. Okay, because he's not utilizing his hips here, he's utilizing momentum built up from the spine. And why that ends up not being great is because it's a more of a lateral bend. Right? When it's a lateral shift, that doesn't create any type of rotation here. Okay? When we're loading, when we're throwing, they talk about hip and shoulder disassociation, right? We want to be able to get our shoulders to be able to load back, right? Kind of have a hidden position. And then as they're coming forward, we want to be able to rapidly rotate through the shoulders and through that mid-spine to generate velocity in the shoulder, velocity in the arm. When we're leaning to the side, we're not generating rotation, we're laterally bending, right? When we see Josh Allen here, notice how he's rotating through and driving that front shoulder back, right? That front elbow back, which makes it so now he's much more in line with his front foot, as the ball's leaving his hand. Okay, and that's really the idea, is we want to be able to maintain as much of an inline position as you can, right? So you can see here, we're still kind of in line, okay, with the head, right? We're in a similar spot, and then as the ball is coming out, continue shift here, okay? And why that ends up being important is, again, you're not going to be able to generate as much speed in the arm, right? And you're not going to be able to use the arm and really the wrist as well to really come down and flick on it, and it's going to make it so the ball doesn't come out of your hand consistently, right? When you come through and there's more of like a straight action with that elbow, with that hand, now you have a much more likelihood of using that wrist or the index finger to really flick the ball, and that index finger will be the last finger to be on the football as it's leaving. Okay, when you start to go to the side, what happens is it's harder to get the wrist around, which makes it so it's much more likely to have the ring or the pinky finger being the last finger to be touching the ball, which makes it so now the ball is going to be spinning more like sideways rather than spinning with the nose going directly towards your target, right? When you're here, the nose is going to be going more towards the target. When you're here, the nose of the football is going to be going more to the side. All right, so I hope that ends up making sense to you. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave those in the comments down below. Send me an email, give me a call, whatever ends up being the easiest for you. It is the beginning of 2023. If you're looking to get better with your mechanics, then let's start getting on some video calls. Let's start going and doing some breakdowns. Let's start really getting into the specifics of how you can improve, right? The main thing that, if you have a willingness to get better, right? You have a desire to improve, whether it's your mechanics, your release, your ability to throw the ball further with more accuracy, all of those, be more consistent. There has to be a level of commitment. There has to be a decision where you get to a point where you're like, okay, where I've gotten to now is the furthest I'm going to go based off of what I've currently been doing, right? And decide that you need to take a different step. Okay, there's a lot of guys that it's getting too late, right? If you're in your sophomore season and you're not getting very many looks, you need to make a change, right? Definitely, if you're going into your junior season, right, and you haven't gotten, you're not having college interest, right? You need to make some big changes. For seniors, it might be a little bit too late for you, to be honest with you, but there is a potential, especially if you could really add in some additional length before going to camps here in the spring, because you don't have very much time, right? All these colleges are really trying to, they already passed one part of the signing day, right? A lot of teams have already decided who they're going to offer and who's going to get scholarships going into 2024. So, definitely don't waste your time here, okay? Let's get going. Let's get you guys better. Let's get you guys being able to throw the ball further. Let's get on a consistent program. The main thing is you got to be willing to send in video. If you're willing to send in video, willing to do the work, willing to do the drills, we have different options set up for you. I'd be willing to work with you to make it so it makes sense for you, makes sense for me, and makes it so you can take it to the next level. We have a ton of different options in terms of payment. It's down as low as $49 a month, as high as $200 a month. Or you can pay for a full 3 months. So there's a lot of options here. Want to be able to help you out. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out some of the other things we have on here to help you out with your mechanics, and we'll talk to you soon.